Hi there, Haozong. Nice to see these essays from you. I understand that your test date is coming up, and so I'm really appreciative of all the work you're doing. I think it's the best step in order to prepare for IELTS, so let's get right into this. Okay, the first essay is your general task 1, letter to the University of Albion. Let's see what you had to say. Okay, it looked kind of long, but let's see how what you said about it. Dear Committee, I am writing this letter to apologize for not submitting the doctor's note for my absence from the mathematics exam on Friday. My name is Haozong and ID number this. Firstly, I realized that I was having a strong flu on Friday morning. My body temperature reached almost 95 degrees and I could barely move away from my bed. I don't know what you mean by 95 degrees. You mean Fahrenheit? Because if it's Fahrenheit, that would be like hypothermia. It's just a detail. Maybe you meant like 102 degrees if you're talking about Celsius, and perhaps you mean like 102. Not 102, what am I saying? I'm saying nonsense. You might want to say like 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, a detail, really detail. Okay. To deal with the situation, I took some pain-relieving pills. You could have just said pain relievers, such as Tylenol and ibuprofen. Okay, this is grammatically, not grammatically, but in terms of punctuation, it's incorrect. First of all, it's just too informal. Here comes the issue. It's too conversational. It's something you would say to your friends. It's certainly not a letter of apology and explanation to university. So instead, I would like you to say something a little more formal here. Something like, let's see, I took some pain relievers. Okay, as a result of the combination of drugs, I never paid a visit to the clinic to ask for a doctor's note on last Friday because I fell asleep. So that's something more appropriate, okay? The language you've used here is a little too informal, it's a little too conversational, a little too casual. Okay. Also, the doctor is allowed to write a make-up doctor's note for me since it happened 3 days ago. I am wondering if your committee would accept. Here you need some of that formal language, some of those modal verbs. So if your committee would accept any other type of evidence, such as an older doctor's notes, prescription history, or etc. No, please no etc. in these IELTS essays. You either state what you're referring to or you just don't put it in there. A person reading it definitely looks, excuse me, poorly upon an etc. It's kind of like, yeah, I mean more, but I don't feel like writing it, okay? And you don't want to give that impression. All right, also, if your committee cannot accept any other type of evidence other than a doctor's note, is it also plausible for if your committee could arrange me a comprehensive makeup exam? I know it is not fair to other students who showed up on time. However, I would not mind if you never put will after if. I would not mind if you made the exam more difficult and lengthy than the original one. Once again, I am really sorry for bringing this trouble to you. I will greatly appreciate if you can take my suggestion into consideration. Best regards. Okay, don't forget the comma here. Don't forget that the second word is never capitalized. On the whole, it was fine. Yeah, really, it was fine. I don't have any major complaints. Just some grammatical things and lexical things that I mentioned throughout. Nothing else that I truly want to add. So let's then go to your second essay, the task 2. Okay, the history. Should it be local or worldwide? Let's see what you had to say. Nowadays, people have different views about what kind of classes have different views about what kind of classes educators should bring to students. That's all. So while some argue that it would be better for students to learn more about their own country's history, I firmly believe educators should concentrate more on the world's history. Interesting. Let's see what you had to say. On one hand, learning other parts of the world will bring lots of benefits to students. First of all, it will allow students to know the world better and have a sense of humbleness. No comma here. We don't say humbleness, we say humility. The world consists of more than 200 countries, and each country has its unique culture and history. From my personal experience, I was never taught too much history about other countries during my household time in China, and I always thought China was the greatest country in the world. However, ever since I came to the U.S., everything I experienced here has please don't say blown my mind. It's very informal. It certainly has no place in an IELTS essay, even though it's absolutely an accurate representation of how people speak in America. I understand that. It's just not academic language. So let's change it a little bit. So, however, ever since I came to the U.S., everything I experienced here has totally changed my world perspective. Okay, how about something like that? It's a little more academic sounding. And I realize a huge gap between reality and the history in my mind. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that by learning world history, learning world history, students will be helped to have a clearer picture of the world. Otherwise, you could have said that learning world history without the by will help students, because this by really messes everything up. If you get rid of it, it simplifies the grammar. Let me do it for you one more time. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that learning world history will definitely help students to have a clearer picture of the world. So much clearer like that. Okay, now for the last body paragraph. On the other hand, while concentrating, careful with your spelling, on a country's own history will bring lots of benefits, such as a country's pride. That's the noun for proud, okay? Pride. Too much concentration will bring negative impacts to people's lives. In general, the concentration should not surpass a certain level. Otherwise, it will become biased government propaganda rather than educational purpose. For instance, Donald Trump's patriotic approach of government administration has, because it's one approach, brainwashed a great number of his supporters. As a result, there are even more white supremacists, usually two words, who always try to create conflicts with colored people, and this issue will only keep getting bigger in the short term. Therefore, educators should always give students unbiased, objective world history rather than promoting patriotic acts. All right, fine. In conclusion, students most definitely, LY, should be provided more educational world history. The world may become a better place if people can implement this approach. Let's see. So good job, you've covered the area that has been asked. If I had to say one thing, I would have liked you to maybe mention in this paragraph the benefits of teaching local history. So in other words, why would some people potentially say that it's really important to teach local history? So I might have liked you to establish that a little bit more in this paragraph. But on the whole, it was a nice job. So good job with these. I'm under the impression that your exam is coming up. If that's the case and we don't see any more writing from you, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you found all this feedback helpful. If you get your results, please let us know what they are. However, if you do need a little more feedback and assistance before your exam, we're here and we're more than happy to help. So please let us do that for you, okay? So I want to wish you lots of luck. That's the end of this correction, and keep on writing, and I wish you lots and lots of luck with your test.